Hello ladies, I am Bettina Peets from Adventures for the Soul, and I create amazing hiking events and retreats for women. I get tons of questions about what type of boots should I wear if I'm going hiking. Should I wear sneakers? Should I wear boots? Should I wear Timberlands? Well, today we're going to answer all of your questions because I don't want you to be like me and buy boots because they match your t-shirt. So let's get started. So ladies, we are at Campmore, one of my favorite outdoor stores, and this is Amy. She is an expert at fitting women with hiking boots, and she is going to tell us everything we need to know. And so let's get started, Amy.
Alright, hi, I'm Amy. I run the shoe department here at Campmore. I've been running the department here for about 2 years, and I've been working here for about 4. Prior to this, I was at another outdoor store also working in the shoe department. So I'm fairly confident I know my stuff.
Yay! So she's going to help us out, and we are going to be ready for the Appalachian Trail.
So these are the women's trail shoes we have. We have them in both waterproof and non-waterproof. The application for a low trail shoe would be if you're going to be on more of a flat trail, little to no elevation gain, so not a lot of up and down or climbing.
Okay. Is that because when you go up you need more ankle support?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Primarily, yes. A lot of our low shoes are the same models we have in the mid-height day hikers. It's just a low cut versus a mid cut.
Nice. So, okay, so I would really like to look at what you have for day hikes because at Adventures for the Soul we do lots of day hikes, and the women want to be, they want to have a little more knowledge, and I know they want more support.
Great.
So ladies, you know at Adventures for the Soul we do lots of day hikes, empowerment hikes, so I want to make sure you're prepared for that. So Amy is going to show us what we need for our day hikes, and so we're supported and comfortable and having fun. So Amy, please show me.
Alright, so again, a lot of these are the mid-height versions of the low-cut shoes you saw before in the trail shoes.
Nice.
Yep, the main difference being that they're taller, they offer more ankle support.
Okay.
The majority of the mid-height ones are waterproof. We only have one non-waterproof one. On the market today, it's actually a little bit of a struggle to find something that's not waterproof. Why you would want a non-waterproof shoe over something that's waterproof?
So why would you?
It'll be a lot more breathable than something that's waterproof.
Oh, I see.
Although lots of waterproofing is advertised as waterproof and breathable, the two don't really exist. It's kind of one or the other.
Okay.
Because the waterproofing Gore-Tex, it's a barrier. It's a membrane, kind of like a sock that's sewn within the shoe. Mm-hmm. So it blocks airflow the same way it blocks water from coming into the shoe. It is micro-perforated, so it allows some heat to escape, but nothing is quite as breathable as something that's just lacking that barrier, like a non-waterproof shoe does.
So, question. What if you're like me, if you have sweaty feet? Would you suggest getting something non-waterproof?
If you're primarily not like hiking in the rain, you're a fair weather kind of hiker, I would suggest a non-waterproof shoe.
Good to know.
Although when it rains, you'll get wet, or if you walk through a stream or puddle, you'll get wet. However, it will dry out much quicker than if a waterproof shoe got wet on the inside. It would take a very long time to dry out.
Okay, so I'm going to be really honest with you. So I like to look good when I'm hiking. You never know where you're going to meet on the trails. My eye goes to the pink boot. So is this a popular brand with women because of the color? Is it a good brand?
Asolo is a great brand. They're made in Europe. They typically fit a little on the narrow side. Really, when it comes down to hiking boots, although people will be attracted to what they think looks nicer or worse, it all comes down to fit. That's what you're looking for overall. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with immediately going to what you like first. It might fit great, and that might be the shoe for you. But ultimately, it comes down to what feels best. Okay. Asolo does make a great product, though.
Understood. I will stop being vain.
Not a problem.
So ladies, you know I love to hike, but I think at Adventures for the Soul, we need to kick it up a notch. So this year, we are going to do some multi-day hike slash backpacking. And Amy is going to show us what we need on our feet to support us for like 2, 3, maybe 5 days of hiking. So Amy, take it away.
Alright, the backpacking boots, how they differ from day hiking and the trail shoes. Most of the time, they're even a little bit taller than some of the day hikers, and they're on the stiffer side, less flexible, both side to side and front to back. Typically, they run a little on the wider side as well, because as you have weight on your back, your feet tend to swell even a little bit more and spread out even a little bit more than they would with just nothing on your own weight on your back over miles and miles.
So one of the questions I have, I do Bear Mountain a lot, Stairway to Heaven, and sometimes there's loose gravel. Now, do you need a stiffer boot when there's loose gravel?
Not necessarily. What makes a hiking boot versus a sneaker is the sole itself. Not necessarily just on backpacking boots, but the rubber, the actual compound of rubber that the sole is made out of is softer than that of a sneaker. So it grips soft ground like dirt and rock better than that of a harder rubber.
Oh, nice. Can I take a look? Sure. Oh yeah, these are nice. And I like the color too.
Also, typically the tread on these is a little bit wider, like there's gaps between the lugs. So it sheds dirt and rock quickly. Like you don't pick up and stick like mud in the tread.
Oh, I totally understand, and that's what happens with regular sneakers. I've seen it happen a million times. Nice. Thank you. All right, so Amy, what I'd like to do next is start putting some boots on my feet.
Great.
Ladies, these are my old boots, and like I said before, I pretty much picked these out because they match my shirt. It's a silly thing to do, but Amy's going to help me with the proper boot and the proper fit, and she was nice enough to give me the correct socks, and she's going to tell you why these socks are good.
You're wearing low socks, which is really not a problem if you're wearing a lower shoe. Ideally, you just want a sock that comes above the height of the boot to prevent chafing. As you sweat, you don't want heat rash with the shoe rubbing directly on your skin. Also, ideally, you want the sock to not be cotton. Cotton absorbs moisture, so it'll absorb sweat. It doesn't wick. The moisture will stay in the sock, and if you have any kind of friction between your foot and the shoe, it'll create blisters. So you want a moisture wicking fabric in the sock, which is ideally what I wear year round, although people think that it'll make you hot.
Right.
Merino wool blend, that's what I wear. It's the best fabric that wicks moisture. Other than merino wool, you could wear something synthetic, which is what you have on.
Okay.
That wicks moisture as well. Merino wool has the edge slightly. It'll start wicking moisture as heat. Whereas a synthetic sock, sweat needs to actually be sweat, like in liquid form, before it wicks it away from your foot.
Oh, I see.
So merino wool has a slight edge to it, although synthetic socks, if completely drenched, like if you go through a stream, will dry out a little bit faster than merino wool.
Oh, got it.
Personally, I prefer merino wool, as do the majority of the people that work in this department.
Okay. Got it. All right, let's get some boots.
All right, so we'll start with a low pair of trail shoes.
Nice, I like those.
This is the Merrell Moab. It's one of the most popular shoes on the market, not just for us, just in the shoe world. This is non-waterproof.
Okay.
So it'll breathe the best out of anything. Oh.
That's okay. Oh, these feel really good. They feel awesome.
Now, another thing we'll do to see the fit of the shoe is take the insole out, put it on the ground, line your foot up with the heel, stand up. And ideally for something hiking, you want a finger to a thumb's width of room in front of your toe to the end of the shoe. You actually don't have that amount of room, so I would say that these would wind up being too small in the long run.
Okay.
Because as you do up and down elevation change, if your feet slide forward, you're going to bang your toes into the front. That's going to be a bad time.
Right, and you might lose a toenail.
Exactly. So if you want to put both on anyway, just to see how they feel, I'll have you come up on the ramp.
We'll do that.
And you'll probably feel your toes hitting the front.
Okay.
All right, so on the ramp, rise up on your toes, and you're gonna check to see if your heel is coming out of the shoe.
Okay.
A little bit of lift is fine, anything up to like a half an inch. Anything more than that is gonna be potentially a problem for blisters, too much movement.
Oh.
Then facing down, give your feet some good scuffs, as if you're trying to make your toes hit the front. You don't want them to hit the front, but this is simulating like miles of downhill that you don't want your toes banging.
Amy, you're so freaking smart. I didn't do any of this the first time.
So up on your toes. Pay attention if your heels are lifting out of the back. A little bit of movement is fine.
A little bit.
A little bit is fine. A lot is bad.
So not bad on that. So let's turn around and give it the stomp test.
Yep.
This is my ex-boyfriend. I do think I probably need bigger.
You're hitting
I'm right
front?
there. Yep. So ladies, I tried on the trail shoe. It felt good, but it's a little too small. So we decided that we're going to transition into something a little bigger and into a day hiker. So Amy, can you show me a day hiker?
Sure. I'm actually going to give you the same shoe, but in mid-height. So this is a day hiker. Narrow Moab mid, and this is waterproof in a size 10.
Nice.
So this is the next size up.
So 10. I have picked my 10.
So there's that one.
Oh, this is a beautiful boot. I love this one too.
20 years ago.
We'll do the same thing with the other foot with the insole. You have a little bit more room here. You have about a finger's width of room from your toe to the end of the insole, which is better.
Okay.
Alright.
So I know I'm not lacing them properly.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Ideally, what you want to do is start from the bottom, tighten them up, go roughly about as tight as you can without it being uncomfortable. Up on your toes. Now, since we went up in size, you want to pay more attention to your heel coming up.
I don't feel it, especially since we tied it properly.
All right, and then turn around. Give some good scuffs.
Don't feel it.
Toes aren't hitting the front now?
No, that's freaking amazing.
Perfect.
So ladies, I've tried on a couple pair of hiking boots so far. These are it. These are my favorites. They're about $120, which is an amazing price for hiking boots. And I think I need to take these home. But Amy is going to talk about price point because you don't want to scrimp and penny pinch on your boots. This is your foundation. This is your basic. This is your safety. So she's going to tell you about how much they cost.
Alright, so typically our prices here in store at Campmore are a little bit lower than you would find at other places. We're roughly 20% cheaper than the MSRP prices you would find in other stores or online direct from the company. The Moab that you have by Merrill we carry for $120 is typically $150. The majority of the boots we carry are in the $120-ish category. There are some that are more expensive, some that are cheaper. Ideally, or typically, you're going to find that a waterproof boot is a little bit more expensive than a non-waterproof boot. For example, the same shoe, these are both the Merrill Moab. The Gore-Tex version is $120, the non-waterproof is $88.
Oh.
It's the cost of the Gore-Tex membrane
Absolutely.
in there that makes it waterproof.
Okay.
Also, quality will play a factor in the price as well. A European company like Loa and Asolo. Loas are handmade in Europe.
Oh.
They're a bit pricey. Typically, this is the Renegade from them.
So is this like the Gucci of hiking boots?
Yes. Their usual price is $220. We carry them for $180. In the day hiking section, that's the most expensive boot that we carry, but they are handmade. It's excellent quality. The leather's fantastic. They're super comfortable out of the box, minimal break-in. It's real good product. Something kind of in the middle would be the Vast Breeze, like in the middle between 120 and 180. We've got for 144 by Vask, the Breeze. The Breeze 3 Mid Gore-Tex, the waterproof version, for 144. It's a little bit taller than the Moab, roughly the same height as the Loa, so about the same ankle support. A little bit stiffer than the Moab, but a little bit more flexible than the Loa.
So ladies, I tend to keep my hiking boots probably a little longer than I should because they're broken in and I like them and I like the color. But I want to ask Amy, how long should we keep our hiking boots?
There isn't a real definitive answer for that. It all depends on use. Typically, like the signs that you need to replace your hiking boots is if they're waterproof, the waterproofing has gone. It's no longer waterproof and it's coming in.
That makes sense.
Waterproofing typically is only guaranteed for a year. Usually you get way longer out of the waterproofing of a boot, but it's only guaranteed for a year. Like you could send it back within a year if it was as a defect, if it wasn't waterproof within a year. Outside of the waterproofing, the next indication would be your sole has become slick and smooth, like the tread has worn down to almost nothing.
That's happened to me before.
Also, if your boots are real old, I'm talking like some people keep their boots 10, 15, 20 years. If they last that long, the midsole, like the foam or polyurethane that cements the rubber sole to the boot itself, will start to deteriorate, almost like a dry rot kind of thing. And if that happens, the sole will eventually peel off.
Yes.
That's worst case scenario. We highly recommend if you're using an old pair of boots and you're going on a trip, take them out for a couple test runs before you go, fly across the country for the first trip in 5 years to go hiking, because you don't want to be up on the top of the mountain with a sole that's come off.
Absolutely. So ladies, Amy has given us so much information. I would love for you to just kind of give us 3 things that we need to think about when we're choosing our perfect hiking shoe.
All right. First, I would say that it's all about fit. Although you can gravitate initially toward what you think looks nicest, it's all about comfort. Shoes are not all the same. Some are cut much wider, some are narrower, some run a little bit long, a little bit short, higher arch, flatter. It's all about how it fits. We encourage you to try on more than one, because a lot of the times you need something to compare it to really make the proper decision.
So the first thing I guess you would say is come in for professional fitting.
Yes, definitely. Talk to someone that knows how to do it and give you good advice.
Yes, come talk to Amy. So number 2.
Socks are way more important than you think. Ideally, you want to wear something not cotton because cotton absorbs moisture. You want to wear a moisture wicking material such as a merino wool blend or something synthetic like polypropylene, acrylic, Coolmax, anything like that.
So stay away from the cotton socks that you just run in Marshalls to get.
Yes. I can't tell you how many people come in and say, my boots are leaking, my feet are wet. I'm like, well, what kind of socks are you wearing? Cotton. I'm like, your boots aren't leaking, you're sweating in your socks and it's staying there. So, also, you want a sock that comes above the height of the boot to prevent chafing and heat rash.
So fit, socks, and the last thing?
Think about the application that you need the shoes for. If you're not doing a whole lot of elevation change up and down, a trail shoe might be more than fine for you. If you are doing some more climbing and you need some ankle support, or you're not conditioned enough to be doing that hike on your own without conditioned ankles, something that gives you ankle support would be a better a better option. It'll help you.
Okay.
You know, prevent injury. Nothing's completely foolproof, but some extra support is a good idea.
Okay, good. And if you're doing a multi-day hike?
Backpackers will help you carry the weight. Essentially, what makes a backpacker is the stiffness of the sole, the height of it, and the torsional rigidity, like side to side, how easy it bends. They don't bend easily side to side because it wants to help you stabilize your foot, not twist your ankle, that kind of thing.
Perfect. And I would say there's 4 things. The 4th thing would be, here at Adventures for the Soul, hike with people you love. Thank you, Amy.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Thanks for having me.